And then the personal experiments, because nigga, I be higher than a fucking giraffe on the moon, goddamn dunking over top of fucking Michael Jordan in the motherfucking high rise on top of the moon, fucking smoking some goddamn kush. That's how high I be. So don't even worry about where I'm getting my sources from, cause I be in the understanding that God will rain bread from heaven for me, nigga. And let's read the psychological interpretation. Revelation verse 2, verse 17 reads as follows. Whoever has ears, let them hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To the one who is victorious in hearing what the Spirit says to the churches or the chakras, I will give some of them the hidden manna. I will also give to that person a white stone with a new name written on it, known only to the one who receives it. By being attentive to inner guidance, you will receive my instructions about your chakras. Whoever has ears, let them hear what the Spirit says to the churches. When you have followed all of the instructions from the chakras, I will give you an interior heavenly joy. To the one who is victorious in listening to what the soul says to the chakras, your guidance, your direction, everything about what you should be doing, your soul already knows. Are you attentive to it? If you are attentive to your soul, you will have some of the hidden manna, right? Hidden manna. So even the psychological interpretation refers to this as being hidden, meaning that Zachary Lansdowne don't even know what the hidden manna is. But guess who does know what the hidden manna is? I do. I will also give that person a white stone with a new name written on it. See, when I first listen, I'm talking about soul initiation. So let me walk y'all through this process. January 1st, 2022, I did not know anything about psilocybin mushrooms. But I walked into the January 1st, 2022, working for a company that specialized in psilocybin mushrooms. And as much boundaries as they wanted to keep from me as far as the information on how to run a company, I burst through every single boundary. I figured out everything about that business, even though the owners of the company rather me not. But sometimes when you need something and the only person you can count on is me, guess who the fuck you gonna call? Me. And the thing about me, I'm like, my middle name should have been Sponge. My middle name should have been Sponge because I suck up and soak up everything. So I'm like, okay, this seems pretty simple and easy. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to start my own psychedelic company. And the name that we chose was White Rabbit. 1, we kept seeing rabbits in our neighborhood. 2, it was channeled through the deity and spiritual entity Nana Bozo, who is a white rabbit, shapeshifter, trickster, god figure in Native American mythology. 3, Hugh Hefner and Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory first gig came from Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner ran a magazine called Playboy, and the entity that ran that energy was the bunny, but that same bunny is Nana Bozo. Nana Bozo came to me and my wife specifically and said, I want to work with y'all and help y'all build the company. And we're like, okay, call it White Rabbit Psychedelics and don't worry about it. So when I read this verse, I read it differently from most motherfuckers. Cause I'm following the soul. If I would have told y'all in 2021 that I'm gonna be tapped into psilocybin and do all this shit, I would have been lying to y'all because I would have been capped the fuck out. I didn't know nothing about this shit. But when you follow your soul, and trust me and my wife have the same soul, because once again, I'm at the gym. My wife sent the lady an email like, hey, we had kind of reached out and we kind of set up something and you kind of flaked on us. And then she triggered something in the lady till the lady called me like, yeah, your wife had messaged me and yeah, come through right now. Come work right now. So I just got out the gym and started working. But the whole time I'm following my soul, and the whole time I'm like, you probably gonna work here for about 6 months. So I worked there for about like 6 months and then I quit. The thing about me is everybody that I was working with for that past 6 months, they like, shit, where you at? I'm like, I'm doing my own thing. I can't do, oh yeah, well I'd rather work with you, fam. And it's like, the company before me was unreliable, fucked up and all that. After I left, it eventually turned into that. Am I the savior? No. But I was just following my soul. And in following your soul, I have a new message with a new name written on it, known only to the one who receives it. Now, when you follow your soul, I guarantee you without a shadow of a doubt, your life is going to be filled with miracles. When you follow these fat booty bitches and these girls with fucking ring lights and false prophecies, your life's gonna be fucked up. But if you like, let's read, man, because I'm not no fucking expert. I'm not no expert. I'm just a nigga who decided to follow his soul. So let's read. I'm gonna need to hire one of y'all to be my goddamn reader. Whoever want the job, DM me, email me, because we gonna do a lot of conversations like this. So it'd be best if we have somebody that's like down to read everything that I put forward and I can shut the fuck up. Who's a good reader? Who was the person that the teacher called on for goddamn reading the stories? If you out there and you hear what I'm saying, whoever has ears, let them hear. One's in the chat. There are a great many people who would never consider the use of visionary plants to be a spiritual experience. These people believe that spiritual experiences must come directly from God and that the use of visionary plants goes against the teachings of the Bible. Contrary to this notion, the Bible never explicitly prohibits the use of visionary plants or potions. What you will find, however, is many curious references to a spiritual food sent down from heaven by God called manna. The Bible never tells us exactly what manna was and where it came from, but there are many Old Testament passages which describe its physical qualities and conditions associated with its appearance. The Bible's first reference to manna is in the book of Exodus, as the children of Israel were fleeing from Egypt and following Moses into the wilderness. After 6 weeks of wandering, they began complaining to Moses that they were tired and hungry. What happens next is extraordinary. Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day. So the thing about mushrooms is you can't eat them all. If y'all understand that, one's in the chat. If y'all understand that, it's only the brown ones. You can't eat them all because some of them is poisonous. That I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. Let's read this again. Then said the Lord to Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you. Y'all don't hear me today. Y'all don't hear me today because y'all got a lot of bullshit in your brains. But the Lord already said that he was going to rain bread from heaven for you. It's already done happened. It's already in all 7 continents, ones in the chat. There are psychedelic mushrooms that grow from the fucking rain. God's come. God come on the earth and then brought forth a son. That son is Jesus Christ. So where a lot of people say Jesus never existed, they don't know what the fuck they talking about. I'm being specific. Most spiritual people, you will never hear them be specific. They'll talk about this, they'll talk about that. I'm talking about a spirit that if you don't understand what God is, you're going to be on the outside looking in, listening to these spiritual bitches and these spiritual niggas. But until you get into the science, and trust me, you can grow mushrooms in your fucking basement. You can grow mushrooms in your room. All you need to do is go to fuck on Google. One's on the chat. All you got to fucking do is do ones on Google and grow it and dehydrate it and eat it. Why? Because God already told us he will rain bread down from heaven for you. You don't even got to pick it from the forest. You can get on Google. Ain't that amazing? And when the dew that lay was going up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness, there lay a small round thing. Do y'all understand what I'm reading? As small as the hoarfrost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw, they said one to another, it is manna. For they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, this is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. And so the author goes to read, and I'll concur, when I read this passage, I was struck by the fact that manna easily fits the description of psychedelic psilocybin mushroom. For one thing, magic mushrooms are small and round, and since they sprout so rapidly, they would seem to appear overnight, as if out the sky. Also, anyone harvesting them would immediately notice that they turned blue, were torn, and had no roots, giving more reason to believe that the mushrooms were of celestial origin. So the psilocybin is a dark blue substance. So when you talk about melanin and all of these particular things, which a fucking rabbit have, or a dog have melanin, a roach got melanin, what you're actually talking about is the psilocybin within the, see, in everything I'm talking about, you could do the research on research for your damn self. This is only, I'm talking about the research that exists in reference to the scientific experiments and then the personal experiments, because nigga, I be higher than a fucking giraffe on the moon, goddamn dunking over top of fucking Michael Jordan in the motherfucking high rise on top of the moon, fucking smoking some goddamn kush. That's how high I be. So don't even worry about where I'm getting my sources from, because I be in the understanding that God will rain bread from heaven for me, nigga. Shadow work composes of two words, shadow and work. Shadow in this context refers to the unconscious, good and bad aspects of yourself that you either ignored or simply never recognize. When you journal in the midst of your negative emotions, you get to see what's going on inside of your mind. Because what you're feeling is usually unknown until you start writing. Once you see it, you can now understand what you've been feeling in secret for so long.